We're on the Ruddy Ferry.
That's us.
So in November 2024, we left the UK with a dream of slowly cycling our way to India. And this is a dream that we have had for maybe 10 years.
It was the earliest we could leave, and it would be our first winter on the bike. And although it was incredibly inspiring, it was tough.
This constant blast of mesmerising natural beauty and heartwarming human experiences gave us just enough strength to take on the bitter, bitter cold. But a cold 3 months had taken its toll. After going in search of the German jungle and pushing our bikes through the snow for weeks in the Austrian mountains, we had just days to cross through Slovenia and Croatia before our Schengen visa expired. We hated the thought of rushing through countries, but -15 had just proved too much for us and our 3-season tent. There was comfort knowing we were at least rushing south, away from the snow. We just couldn't take any more of the cold.
Yeah, nearly country number 4.
Now officially the furthest we'd cycled from the UK, we just needed our legs to hold out until Bosnia.
I'm almost in Croatia.
And our cycling today, for me anyway, is the most I have felt, or the furthest I felt away from the UK. I think it is a real reminder that before this, we hadn't left the UK in 5 years. We
Have left the
Schengen area, we're in Bosnia.
Woohoo!
All of the visa rushing is kind of gone.
Yeah, it's a weight off our shoulders.
We have 90 days to explore in almost each country that we go through.
Yeah.
And we have to be in the Balkan countries for at least 90 days before we can cross through Bulgaria to get into Turkey and continue. So we're going to have to explore really, really well.
Yeah.
I think because the last week before we got here was quite warm. During the day it was quite sunny, even though it got cold at night. But forgot that it's still mid-February and we're going towards higher peaks again, and it's going to get cold.
Dropping quite a lot, so we're trying to get down as quick as we can because this road is quite fast.
A week of snow and temperatures down to -10. We've been running on empty for so long, and the 3 wintry months had finally crashed on top of us. The strength that got us through Germany and Austria was just gone. We couldn't seem to avoid dangerous roads, and for the first time we just didn't want to be cycling. I felt scared and a long way from home.
So we first left for this trip 7 years ago and things didn't work out. We went back to the UK and we spent 5 years in the UK in this kind of no man's land, not leading normal lives, just waiting to try and restart this trip. And then When you have been waiting for something for such a long time, it felt so good to leave. But the cold was just something that we were not at all prepared for. We just kind of felt stuck in it. We had this mad dash across Croatia and Slovenia. We got to Bosnia, and everything had kind of, in my head, been holding out that, you know, if things would get better there, we could rest up. And then we just got hit by this big, heavy week of really bad conditions. I'll be honest, I just like completely mentally slumped. Mentally and physically, I just kind of like shut down a little bit. I was feeling incredibly panicky. I just didn't think it was at all possible that we would be able to get to India. It just seemed absolutely impossible. I didn't even think we'd be able to cross, you know, like make it through another day of cycling. Just felt like I couldn't take any more of the cold. So with this big week of freezing temperatures come in, we found this community up in the clouds, and we decided we would go there, wait out the weather a little bit, and just see what happened, see how we felt, and that's what we did.
A little attic kind of cubby hole, which is very cosy with us and all of our bike bags, which we're used to with the tent. I actually don't think it's that much bigger than the tent, so it'll feel like we're at home.
Immediately we find ourselves amongst this tribe of fellow misfits and wanderers, surrounded by animals and nature.
So this is Kevin the dog,
This is Kevin.
the most chill dog. And this is Carly, and Carly is not the most chill dog.
There were more dogs, cats, horses, and even a wolf called Stone. All the animals would howl when the local mosque gave a call to prayer, and it's something I will never forget.
So, we have no idea how it happened, but we woke up to
Our days were spent learning building skills and looking after animals with a warm community from around the world, and Fadl, one of the most crazily brilliant people we have ever met. And soon we didn't feel so far from home. So there's been so many beautiful points to this winter, but it has been really hard, particularly with it being our first time really cycling through in the cold like that. And we have always had this thing pushing us on in the back of our heads, thinking about that first day where it felt really warm and how good that would feel. And I think this is that day. Yeah, it feels amazing. It feels amazing. Feels even better than I thought it would feel. 1 week in the clouds became 2. 2 had become 3. We felt happier, stronger. The excitement to be on the road had come back. We could tell it was nearing time for farewells.
Is it heavier or are we just not up to it?
And so we say goodbye to the community in the clouds, and as we dropped down, found the world outside had changed far more than we had realised.
We spent such a long time in the clouds, I don't think we realised that down here on kind of almost sea level, spring is so much further
ahead. Yeah, green trees, flowers are out, and it's quite a bit warmer as well.
Yeah, it has that kind of moist smell to the air where it just smells like life is coming back, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
We are now cycling our way towards Mostar and then
heading south through Bosnia.
And then towards Montenegro.
Yeah.
And the forecast is looking kind of nice and very ready for some spring weather.
Yeah, bring it on.
We'd heard about a beautiful swimming spot up in the mountains, way off course. But now there were no visa headaches to keep us pedaling in a straight line.
Are you ready?
I feel a bit nervous. Yeah, let's go before I change my mind.
So it's a little bit above freezing now. Like, I had could barely feel my toes for so much of the winter, but now I feel quite normal that I can't feel my toes. Yeah, it's beautiful. And the water is so clear.
With our Schengen visa in the back of our mind for the first 3 months, this felt like the first time we could just collywomple our way around, ambling forward with no real destination, just letting our senses guide the way. So it's 14 or 15 degrees. It's 11 p.m. It's our first summery
It's
evening.
the warmest night I think we've had on the trips.
There were dangerous roads and terrifying tunnels, but once again they seemed insignificant compared to the beauties we'd find along the road.
It's quite high.
Yeah. You realise how high it is? It just keeps getting better, and at every corner there's just these towering cliffs, in the sunshine with all the trees turning green. It's beautiful. And then every now and again we whiz past the waterfall as well. Oh, it's so beautiful. All I can hear is Josh behind me going, wow, woo, wow.
Following this river, we found ourselves in Mostar, looking at the iconic Mostar Bridge, or Stari Most, the old bridge. But it was the water that really struck me first. Just one river ran through the city, but it felt like wherever you looked there were torrents. The sound of cascading liquid and bridges crossing them. And life thrives by water.
Got something.
And the local diving team had found ways to make some money whilst training. Perched at the edge of a nauseating drop, they would stand the spectacle and wait for the inevitable crowds to gather. Once they'd received enough donations, they would then prepare for the 20-metre drop.
That sounded hard. Their feet are feet.
Give us a twirl.
Perfect for cycling.
Traders lined the white streets with traditional craftspeople still working as it had for hundreds of years. And Mostar was home to world-famous eateries.
Behind the curtain at the Boric Magic.
You can see it steaming.
Wow.
This is a traditional way of making borek, the snack we'd fallen in love with since entering the Balkans, and Sarah estimates she was 1/3 Boric by this point. This is the best Boric we've ever had.
Oh wow!
It's got so much, I don't know if it's came back in the middle, but it's just perfect amounts of like saltiness, crispiness on the outside, but this one's like gooey as well. You could walk one street past Orthodox churches, Catholic churches and mosques. And whilst this town was now wandered by people from all over the world, it wasn't really so old. Virtually the entire area had been rebuilt, including the old bridge since its destruction just 30 years ago during the war. And there were reminders everywhere you went. All of our time in Bosnia has been such an incredible experience, and the people have been amazing, but they've always just been these signs of the war that kind of has torn through the whole of the country, and it's just always this reminder of there's so many friendly faces and incredible sights and natural beauty, but then there'll be these abandoned buildings and these bullet holes everywhere and these just these scars on the landscape. It just adds a very different side to the trip as well. One of our strongest memories from Bosnia was the warmth of the locals. The constant kindness we experienced was unforgettable across every region and every community. And now in Mostar, it was beautiful to see this bridge that had been ripped down during a terrible war was now connecting people once again. It was hard to believe just where we were. To an experienced cyclist riding through our first winter, it just felt like we could never escape the cold. We almost forgot the seasons could change. And this just felt like a completely different world.
So much of it, look how big it is. So amazing. I don't think I've ever been somewhere where it grows naturally, and I've always had cacti plants, but it's so amazing to see it growing.
Pretty crazy how literally just a few nights ago we were camped in the snow.
Yes.
And a few nights before that we were up in the hills in Bukowina, where you could barely, like, spring was just starting to come through.
Yeah, a tiny, tiny little sight of it on the trees and
like little bulbs and things. And then now it's just, we're sheltering from the heat in the shade, sheltering in the shade.
Yeah.
Bar mitts came off this morning.
Yeah.
The
I'm wearing trainers.
You're wearing trainers. I'm still wearing my leggings and my boots, but
I can't understand how. And we're drinking so much water.
For the first time on this journey, water was an issue. We spent half the day climbing in the heat, still wearing thick insulated layers, winter boots with thermal insoles, without anywhere to fill up water, rationing the last drops between the two of us. I've not had suntan lotion in my eyes for a very long time. So I woke up at about 1 a.m. Like profusely sweating, like a bit disorientated and really needing a poo, and kind of like shivery, and yeah, spent the whole night kind of, my temperature was just like all my muscles are like super tight, kind of just like this pounding headache and really disorientated, and we went from like being incredibly hot to like freezing cold and shivering, and I'm pretty sure I've got like heat stroke from yesterday. The problem was this had timed perfectly whilst we were in no man's land, without food or water. Most of the villages around us were abandoned, and it was a hilly 15 miles to the nearest food or accommodation. So I'm on a bench in the shade, trying to keep my eyes open. Keep getting really dizzy when I stand, so Sarah is trying to talk with this guy from outside the church and see if we can get a lift to the next town, because there's nothing here. Been together for 13 and a half years, and every time we adventure, we just kind of get closer and closer. I feel like a very lucky man. Dehydrated, but lucky.
So we're climbing for a while, and we're still going up. It's not much shade because it's getting towards the kind of middle of the day.
Veins in my forehead throbbing, head swelling and pounding against my helmet, growing more confused and dizzy. "15 miles feels like an eternity." But we made it. So we've got my temperature down from, what was it, 39?
0.23. Oh my god, you're just disgusting.
I'm not eating anything for a few days.
Yeah, you have, clearly. It's crawled your butthole.
Guts have got so bad.
You know it's bad if you can't stand it.
Fala.
Ciao.
Ciao. I was worried I was going to feel really rough today because it's 24 degrees, quite a lot warmer. But so far, I actually feel pretty good. Our first pedals in shorts and t-shirts. It felt pretty damn special.
We are sitting a few hundred meters away from the Montenegrin border.
Yeah, about to leave Bosnia behind and enter a whole new country.
The climb has polished me off a little bit, but I've drunk loads of water and the heat stroke seems as though it's kind of subsiding, which is good.
Staying hydrated.
And we are really excited, obviously, for a new country, but really a huge aspect of this is that we will be meeting a friend who will be driving back to the UK afterwards.
Yeah, so it's time for our winter sheds. We're going to be getting rid of all of our big, thick winter layers and thermals and winter boots and swapping them out for some cool summer gear.
And I think we have been really hesitant to say it, but I think now we can confidently say we have made it through the winter.
Yeah, I think
And
we can say we're in spring.
I can't explain how incredible that feels. We're just waking up every day excited to cycle, and the world just feels just open to us to pedal around on our bikes. Spring, thank you for coming to us. Winter,
We'll see you again.
we'll see you again at some point, but I don't want to think of you for quite a while.